about 6 o'clock. At 6, I'm going to start doing this pineapple. So I told everybody to cube their pineapple ahead of time, but I am going to demo how to cube up a pineapple, but I'm going to be moving very quickly. So if you have not cubed up your pineapple yet, pay attention and work along with me, but I am going to move quickly through this. I'm going to show you 2 ways to do it. So I'm going to start getting my pineapple ready. I've already got half a cup of lime juice. It took me about 3.5, 4 limes to get half a cup of fresh lime juice. Now you could also use, where's the lime juice we got today?
I don't know where you put it.
You could also use some bottled lime juice if you want. Just make sure that it is real limes. Oh, no.
Okay.
Just make sure that it's real limes. And try not to get something from concentrate. I know sometimes that's all you can find. But, hey Stuart, about half a cup of limes need to be juiced, and our pineapple needs to be cubed. 1 pineapple should be good for both of our recipes. We're going to need about 4 cups total of cubes. So, to do this bad boy, you're just going to want to twist off the top. Ooh, and then this makes a really fun table decoration. If you put it in a little bowl of water, really fun table decoration, or like a drink garnish if you want. So I'm going to save that for later just in case. Now we want to, can we see okay? Okay.
Yeah, looks good.
So we want to cut off both ends of this bad boy. 1, so that it's flat for us, and 2, so that you can see where the core is. So on this, you can see there's a little core right here. Now this center one is the core, but so is this lighter circle around it. That's not going to be very tasty, and you can feel the difference in texture on it too. So we're going to remove this. Now I have a coring device, but if you don't, I'm going to show you how you can remove it without a coring device as well. So I'm going to cut this in half, reason being because my coring device only goes up about a little over halfway. So I'm going to cut it in half so that I can show you half of this pineapple with the coring device and half of it just using a knife. So first thing, we're going to want to remove all the outer skin. So just kind of go around. You want all that hard stuff off, and you want these little eyes on the pineapple to be removed as well. Now,
so do you have to get all of it if you eat one of those things? Is it going to kill you?
No, if you eat one, it's not going to kill you. It's just not going to, you're going to feel the texture of it.
What's the worst that could happen?
The worst. So we have a guest star tonight, y'all, too. So my husband has to go pick up a friend from the airport. We got a couple friends visiting us this weekend for the holiday weekend. So he's got to go pick somebody up. So I'm going to have Victor answering my questions. So no is the answer if you're saying, did Chuck gain a Brooklyn accent? No, that's my friend Victor. And he is going to be answering our questions tonight. Give a little hello, Victor.
Hey, how you doing over here?
Hey, how you doing over here? So that's Victor that I'm pointing my knife at. He's going to be answering questions tonight. So just try to get as much of that skin off as you can on both parts of the pineapple. And you know what? If you don't work tomorrow, guys, I know we always start with making ourselves a drink. If you don't work tomorrow and you want to get after it, make yourself a drink while we prep our margaritas.
How about we do like Julie Hill over here and plant your own pineapple if you want.
You're in charge, Marge. So if you want to have a drink while we prepare the margaritas, go for it. Grab yourself at least some water, minimum. At least some water. You want to kind of get all the funk off of this thing. So just trim it up.
The funk, huh?
All the funk.
Is that a technical term?
It is a technical term. Trim it up real nice. If you hear a bell jingling, that's Cheese. He's having his evening playtime right now. Okay. So, let me get all this gunk out of the way.
How you doing, Stuart? Talk to me.
Whoop. Play nice, kitties. All right. I tell you, when you're done cleaning a pineapple, it's like there's not really much left. Okay. So, let me get my towel tied around here so I can have this. Also, in honor of our class tonight, we're going to be doing a 4th of July themed weekend, and 4th of July themed weekend means barbecue and booze, typically. And I've got my little watermelon nails all done here, guys. I am ready. And I have my Te Amo Tequila shirt in honor of us making margaritas.
Yeah, you make watermelon margaritas.
Biggest bottle of tequila ever, too. So we're making some healthier barbecue sauce tonight. It's all homemade, used with whole foods. It's Whole 30 if you omit the honey. because the pineapple sweetens it nicely. Our margaritas are going to be refined sugar-free. We're going to make a jalapeno honey simple syrup from scratch. So we need to get this pineapple clean so that we can start that syrup so it can cool for our margaritas. So if you have a little coring device, you're just going to wrap it around that center that I just showed you and twist. So this is like...
Is this tool specifically for pineapple, or
It's
is this
for pineapple and other things that have big cores like that. So look, it just pops
An
out.
apple with it?
You can core an apple with it. I also have a smaller one. It comes with 2 sizes.
Yeah, wouldn't that take the whole apple?
Here's my core, and I have a smaller one too. And now I have this beautifully cored pineapple. Now, if you're just using a knife, make sure you got a sharp knife, and you're gonna see where that light circle around the center is, and you're gonna cut around that. So I'm literally going to take a few cuts to cut around that core. The core is just a little bitter, it's hard to bite into, so it's not very palatable. So you wanna do that. And then from here, we're just gonna cube it. And like I said, you'll get around 4 cups. If you don't have a perfect 4 cups, that's okay. Also, guys, we're gonna need a blender tonight. I am going to be using 2 blenders. If you're not making both recipes also, that's fine. Make whichever one you feel like. We're going to be doing 2. I'm going to be using my Vitamix to puree some pineapple juice for the pineapple margaritas. You could also use store-bought pineapple juice if you can find a good one, good quality one. Healthy cooking starts with quality ingredients, as I always say. So, I'm going to be using my Vitamix for that so that I get a nice smooth juice. And then I'm going to use a hand blender, an immersion blender, a stick blender for my barbecue sauce. Now you can just rinse out, you can blend that pineapple juice, rinse it out real quick. You don't even need to wash it because there's pineapple in our barbecue sauce, and reuse it to puree the barbecue sauce if you'd like. So work with what you got here, guys. I'm going to be using 2 because my kitchen helper, my cleaner, kitchen cleaner, my dishwasher isn't going to be here. So I want to have as little dishes as possible when I'm done.
I don't know how I've been referred to as that.
Chuck doesn't like being called a dishwasher. So look, I've got this whole bowl of pineapple cubes. It's going to be around 4 cups. I'm just rinsing my hands. All right. So, how are we doing on questions? Oh, you can plant it and grow your own pineapple. It takes like 2 years though, just so you know. You can sprout this little guy in some water, plant it, grow your own pineapple, but it takes a couple years. I'm actually watching someone on Instagram who's doing it.
You should use that pineapple thing like a mistletoe at the end. You guys give each other a kiss, no?
There we go. It's going to be mistletoe. So we're going to just hang this above our heads and have a little kiss, according to Victor.
Well,
all right.
Okay, that's all right. Fine.
So we want to get started on this simple syrup right away because we want to let it chill a little bit before we shake it in our cocktail shakers. Otherwise, it's going to melt all the ice and we're not going to get such a cold cocktail. So you need a small saucepan. And it's going to be a honey jalapeno simple syrup that we're going to put lime in as well. So this half a cup of lime is also going to get half a cup of water. So I'm going to go over to my fridge and get some filtered water. Half a cup. All equal parts for this syrup. So half a cup water, half a cup fresh lime juice, and half a cup of honey. I've got some local raw honey here, unfiltered, and it's slow as molasses, even though it's honey. But we're gonna go about half a cup. I got a backup one here. Not about half a cup, half a cup.
Molasses is a lot slower than that.
I know, I have molasses in the fridge. Or in the pantry.
You got it in the fridge? It's gonna be
In the
slower.
pantry. I got a fresh bottle here, so this will go quicker. And as always, guys, ask your questions as we go. Victor, if I miss them, will read them out to me. You guys will just be asking questions to hear his beautiful voice. Okay, so this right in there. I'm gonna grab a little spoon because I'll use this to stir my simple syrup as it cooks too. Simple syrup's gonna come together real quick. We're just gonna simmer it for about 3 minutes.
It takes 2 years to grow a pineapple. Are you serious? You kidding me?
That's what I just said. Yeah, it takes about 2 years. So, also, we're going to use
investment.
Oh,
1
okay.
jalapeno. Now you can remove the seeds if you want, but the
Don't
seeds is
do it.
what makes it spicy. Now if you don't like spice, you can completely omit this step. Or if you like just a little bit of spice, use less jalapeno. So 1 whole jalapeno is gonna make a nice spicy syrup. So if you're gonna use about half, it's gonna be less spicy. If you omit it, you're not gonna have any spice, which is okay if you don't like it. So I'm just gonna cut this into little rings. And what's great, guys, is once we strain this syrup, when we strain the jalapenos and the seeds out of it, you have like a candied jalapeno that you can use as a beautiful garnish. So 1 whole jalapeno. We're gonna wash our hands after this because I have an itch on my nose and I know I'll touch my nose with my jalapeno fingers and be on fire for life.
You need me to come scratch your nose?
No, I'm okay. I got
Okay.
it. I got it under control. All right, so we've got our saucepan here. Jalapenos are in. We're gonna pour this 1/2 cup of water, 1/2 cup of lime juice, 1/2 cup of honey. Use a spatula spoon so that you can get all that honey out of there because it's still sticky because we haven't heated it.
Look like you're making Grandma Remedy when you get
Why
sick.
is my video paused? Oh, am I back? Okay.
Yeah, I think it was just freezing. I think you're fine.
Okay. All right. All right. So this goes on the stove. We're going to bring it to a simmer. Once it simmers, it's going to be about 3 minutes. So we're going to be listening to make sure that we hear the simmer happen, and it's going to simmer for about 3 minutes. So about medium-high heat.
Have you explained the consistency you're looking for yet, just in case?
So medium-high heat. At the end, it's going to have thickened a little bit, and when you take it off the heat, as it cools, it's going to get even a little thicker. So just a simple syrup consistency is what you're looking for. It's going to be about the same. I am going to clear with the back of my knife, I'm not using the blade, these jalapeno seeds and wash my hands. So wash your hands after touching those jalapenos. All right. Now we're going to get our barbecue sauce together. We're going to start getting the ingredients together while that cooks. So you're going to want a bigger pan for your barbecue sauce. So I've got a big pot back here, and I'm going to bring you guys back here to look at it. Don't worry. And then I've got my stick blender back here too that I'm going to blend with.
Can you get cordless ones of those?
I don't think so. Maybe. I don't know. If there's a cordless one, I'm not aware of it, but that would be pretty cool. So get your barbecue sauce pan on medium heat and put a little avocado oil in it, or whatever oil you're using. Make sure it's a high heat oil. Avocado oil is very neutral. So get your oil in your pan over medium heat. Just enough to coat the pan. So it depends on how big your pan is. About a tablespoon, maybe 2 tablespoons, depends on the size of your pan. But coat the bottom of that pan. Then we're going to go with, gosh, I don't know why my nose is so itchy. We're going to go with 1 shallot. So I've got a shallot here. I love shallots. They're like a little onion garlic mix. Don't worry, we're going to use garlic too. This is me. It is me. I'm definitely still going to use garlic. So
You're not spilled anything yet, though.
I haven't spilled anything yet. I'm doing really great.
Is your favorite type of cooking oil avocado?
Can you tell over there?
Oh yeah, I can see it over there.
I
Yeah.
use avocado oil a lot for
Okay,
cooking.
just
So
making
just like
sure.
an onion, you're going to chop this shallot just like an onion. Get both ends flat, cut it in half, and just a rough chop on this, guys. You know, you don't need to have perfect knife skills on this because we're going to blend it all. So you want it to be the same size chop so that it cooks evenly, but it doesn't need to be beautiful. It's all going to get blended. So I'm just going to slice it into strips. I'm not even going to dice it. So I'm just going to get this skin off, run my knife through it real quick. So 1 shallot. And if it's, you know, it doesn't really matter. Shallots are all about the same size. So if you're like, oh, does it matter big or small shallot? It really doesn't. It's all going to kind of come together with the same flavor. Whoop, slippery. Okay. All right, let me check this oil. It's definitely not hot enough yet. And my jalapeno syrup is not simmering yet. So we're still in the clear. So I'm going to set this aside because that shallot's going to go right in. And we're also going to use 2 cloves of garlic in there too. We're going to add the garlic when we have 60 seconds left on the shallots because you always just cook your garlic for a minute. You don't want to burn garlic. Hulk smash on the garlic. And again, just a rough chop on this because we're gonna blend it. How are we doing on questions too?
Looks
Everyone's
good.
good. Hi, Leanna. I know that you are with Mama. I wish you were going to be enjoying this margarita
Is
with
she
me.
down in Georgia?
She's in Rome, yeah. She's with her mom. But definitely save the recipe if you're not cooking this tonight. If you're going to be doing it this weekend, pay attention to the little tips and tricks. Save the recipe. And you can make it this weekend for your pool parties, your barbecues, whatever you're doing. I love pineapple in the summertime. This barbecue sauce is like my base sauce that I mix and match the fruits. So I love it with mango. Last week I made it with peach. So you can kind of, I do blueberries. I do blueberry barbecue ribs, which reminds me I need to start my ribs in the Instant Pot. We're doing ribs tonight. So you can really mess around with what fruit you use here. It's very interchangeable. I wouldn't use like, what's a fruit I wouldn't use? I wouldn't use like grapes. Like I wouldn't make a grape barbecue sauce. Cherry would actually probably be good.
Why would grapes not be good?
Berry would be good. I don't know. It's just anything that goes good with a barbecue flavor. If you can make it smoky, I just don't know about smoky grapes. If you can deal with it being a smoky fruit, then it would be really good here. Strawberries could be good.
See,
Yeah.
grapes is good with wine. So
We don't
after
need
you
to-
eat everything, you use a grape.
We don't need to talk about every kind of fruit, but you can mix and match what fruits based on season is what I'm going for here.
All right, there goes that.
So, I'm still not simmering, but I'm going to get my shallots in this oil because I can feel the heat coming off. So shallots go in first. I hear them sizzle right when I put them in. That's a good sign. I'm going to grab another spoon. So one whole shallot, guys. And I'm going to start my ribs. Hold on one sec. Okay, ribs in the Instant Pot is a great trick. I love doing ribs on the grill, but because I'm going to be indoors cooking tonight, I'm going to be indoors cooking my ribs too. And it's like 95 degrees, so I'm not really too interested in getting in front of a grill. Okay, what's next? So once that shallot starts to get a little bit clear and get a little bit soft, we're going to add in like 1.5 cups to 2 cups of pineapple. You want to make sure that you have 2 cups reserved for our margaritas. So right now, actually, let's take 2 cups of pineapple and set it aside for our margaritas so that we know we have enough. Because if you do 1.5 cups in the sauce, it's really not going to make too big of a difference versus 2 cups. It's just providing a nice tang and sweetness. All right, so got about 2 cups of pineapple in my blender ready to blend. Any blender works for that, guys, because we're going to run it through. We're going to strain it too. If you have a sieve, you can strain it. Otherwise, I really love pulpiness in my margaritas. If you don't, make sure you strain it. But if you don't want the pulp in there, you want to make sure you strain it. So any blender will do. It doesn't have to be perfect.
I like more liquor in my margarita.
Victor wants a strong margarita tonight, so we'll do that for him tonight.
Good.
Okay, so stir your shallots. Make sure they're getting a little soft. And then we're going to throw in our 1.5 to 2 cups, whatever you've got. If I have over 2 cups, then I'll blend more for our margaritas. But 1.5 to 2 cups is going to go in with the shallot, and then the garlic's going to go last. So get that in the hot pan. I have a little extra, so we'll have a little bit more juice. And then we're going to let that pineapple start to release its juices in the pan. So even if you do this with any other fruit, blueberries, peaches, mango, whatever it is, you want it to start releasing its juice and getting nice and soft. Okay, other ingredients, guys. We've got some apple cider vinegar here. We've got some Dijon mustard. This is all going to go into our sauce. I've got a can of organic Glen tomato sauce. So get some tomato sauce for the barbecue sauce. I've got a bunch of spices. I've got turmeric, I've got chili powder, I've got cayenne, cumin, and smoked paprika. And then I've also got some chipotle peppers. So you want to get the chipotle peppers in adobo. You can buy this as a paste or you can buy the whole peppers. Doesn't matter again because we're going to blend it. So each one's about a tablespoon. We're going to need 2 tablespoons of that chipotle in adobo. So I'm going to use just 2 of those peppers. They are spicy. The adobo makes it spicy. So just note that if you don't like spice at all, you might want to reduce that to 1 tablespoon. One of them is not going to overpower your barbecue sauce, but you are going to want that little kick. Every barbecue sauce, at least in my opinion, a tomato-based sauce, we are going to have vinegar in there, but it's a tomato-based sauce, needs a little kick to balance out the sweetness of the tomatoes. So let's stir our pineapples and our shallots. Good. Okay. What can we be doing then? My syrup is still not simmering. I've got it on medium-high heat, so I'm going to turn it up a little bit because I really want to make sure that that simmers, cooks for the 3 minutes, and then I get to bring it down to room temperature before we start shaking it. For the margaritas tonight, this is the biggest bottle of tequila ever. I'm using a reposado. That is my favorite tequila. So I'm using a Coralejo reposado. You could obviously use a silver tequila here, of course. If you like extra smoky, you could use an añejo. I mean a mezcal, sorry. You could use a mezcal. I would not recommend using an añejo. The añejo is like the whiskey of tequilas. It's a sipping tequila. So it's just not worth it to mix it in a margarita because you're masking that flavor. So I'm going to be using a reposado. You could definitely use silver as well. And then another optional ingredient was cointreau or Grand Marnier.
More importantly, are you sharing that?
So I am not going to be using that tonight because I love the pineapple flavor. So the cointreau or the Grand Marnier gives it that orange flavor that you like in a traditional margarita. But because I'm putting the pineapple with it, I really want that to shine. So I'm just going to be using the pineapple juice. But if you are using cointreau, I'll give you some, or Grand Marnier, I'll give you some measurements for that too. Okay. I'm not seeing too many juices from the pineapple yet, so I'm going to let it keep going. And my simple syrup still isn't bubbling. So while we wait, I'm going to blend the pineapple because we just want to keep moving here. We want to keep moving, get steps done. So I'm going to blend this pineapple, and I'm going to blend it probably at least 30 seconds, and then I'm going to strain it right back into that bowl I cut it into.
Am I smelling the garlic and stuff sauteing
I
there?
don't have garlic yet, I have shallots. I'm going to strain it through a sieve. Now the pulp, we'll talk about the pulp when we get there. So let's blend our pineapple. Depending on your blender, because I have a Vitamix, I'm going to go about 30-ish seconds. If you're not using a Vitamix or a high-powered blender, go a little longer. You just want it to be smooth. You want it to be a pineapple juice. So let's blend that while we wait for the simmering and the pineapple to break down.
Are there any tips that you can potentially give someone that doesn't have a high-powered blender?
You just have to blend it longer. If you don't have a high-powered blender, just blend it longer until it's a juice. And again, if it's still a little pulpy, that's okay. We can strain it, or I love the pulp in my margarita. So it's all just personal preference. All right. Blender, you may need a little water to get it going. So you could either use a little water or a little fresh lime juice to just get the blender going, to get it moving so that the pineapple can puree. I'm going to let it all settle down back here in the blender because it's all kind of clung to the sides here. So I'm going to let it settle so that I get all the goodness before we strain it.
I just want to drink that.
Right? It's going to be good. Okay. Pineapples are getting a little juicy, so I'm going to add in my 2 cloves of garlic and cook it for 60 seconds, 1 minute. You guys know my rule.
What's the rule? Just in case you have somebody new.
In case we have someone new, my rule with garlic is cook it for 60 seconds. So add it at the last 60 seconds. Now, not of your recipe. If you're going to add liquid in, like we're going to add liquid in our tomato sauce, our apple cider vinegar, you just don't want it to cook in the oil by itself for more than 60 minutes, in my opinion.
60 seconds.
Or 60 minutes. Woo, you have some burnt garlic. 60 seconds. So I'm going to stir this around. Okay. We're going to need a 1/4 cup of apple cider vinegar, guys. 1/4 cup. So after that 60 seconds, we'll get that in. And then 1 of our 15-ounce cans of our tomato sauce
Sauce.
is going to... Sauce.
Sauce is good. I like sauce.
And my jalapeno honey syrup is starting to simmer. So I'm going to wait till it comes to a full simmer and then wait 3 minutes. All right. Woo, I hope your kitchen smells as good as mine. In with the tomato sauce and the apple cider vinegar, and then we're going to add all the rest of the ingredients. So I'm going to get this in there, and I'm going to move you guys over. And if it's popping, if you notice that your liquid starts popping up, turn your heat down a little bit so that you're not getting splattered in the face. All right. I'm going to move you guys. And I'm using a tablet and a phone tonight because Chuck's going to take his phone when he goes to the airport, so it's going to be a little interesting. There's my little peanut gallery back here.
We're the weird comments you're hearing.
Yeah, they're the conversations you're hearing in the background. Say hello to Instagram. Hey,
Hey guys, how you doing? Yeah, pleasure. Hey, Lisa, can I ask a quick question? Let's say like you know, you run out of ingredients and then or let's say like you like roasted garlic. Can you use roasted garlic instead of you put another and throw it in there? Like,
You could use roasted garlic for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, this is gonna be interesting here, guys. I'm sorry, just trying to configure. All right, I think we're good. How does that look? Okay?
Perfect, beautiful. Good.
No, I mean on your side.
Oh, beautiful over here. I see half of you.
Your Facebook, I think both of them need to be turned a little bit. Can't anybody see? You can't see
Yeah.
the pot.
Okay.
Yeah. Turn it.
How about that?
Look, you gotta lean over a little
Give
bit.
it a second. It's like a lag. Okay.
We got a question over here.
Yeah.
Question. Simple syrup has been bubbling good for 3 minutes. Take it off the heat. You got it. Take it off the heat. So mine just started bubbling pretty good. I'm going to turn it down because I don't want it boiling. I want it simmering. So take it off the heat, Stuart. Yes. Once it's going for 3 minutes, take it off so it can come to room temperature, and then we're going to strain it. Okay, so we've got our apple cider vinegar, and we have our tomato sauce in there. You guys know I don't usually measure when it comes to teaspoons and tablespoons and whatnot. So if you need to measure, please measure, but I'm gonna eyeball it. So I've got some Dijon mustard here, 1 tablespoon. That's the beauty of cooking instead of baking. You don't have to measure everything exactly. It's really to taste. Okay, 2 tablespoons of our Chipotle peppers. And so you can use a tablespoon, or one of these peppers, I'm just gonna have to touch it. One of these peppers is about a tablespoon. So I'm gonna go in with 2 of those. Gives it nice spice. You wanna make sure they're in adobo. I think we're gonna be good there. I'll remind them.
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
All right. So 2 tablespoons of the chipotles or 2 of the peppers if you didn't get the puree. I'm looking at my recipe. I have it on the fridge here, guys. Turmeric, cumin, chili powder, all 1 teaspoon. Turmeric, cumin, chili powder. Okay. So I've got some turmeric. I still have my bulk bag here. haven't put this in a spice jar yet because it stains. So I don't really like to put it in a spice jar. This is going to give it flavor and color and anti-inflammatory properties too. So turmeric, cumin, all 1 teaspoon of each. Chili powder. I'm smelling so I know which one's which. Great. And then we need a tablespoon of smoked paprika. It's gonna be real smoky. You wanna use smoked here. If you're not using a smoked paprika and you're using regular, you're gonna need to get some smoked sea salt or something else smoky. I don't like liquid smoke. If you guys like liquid smoke, you could use, you know, a tablespoon of that, or I don't even really know because I don't ever use it. Okay, I'm gonna remove my simple syrup from the stove because it's good to go. It's been 3 minutes. I'm gonna stir this all together, and then we're gonna go 2 tablespoons of honey. And then if you like it extra spicy, you can add a 1/4 teaspoon of cayenne pepper. If you don't, that's okay. So, 2 tablespoons of honey. If you're doing Whole30, omit this step. Or if you're doing keto, omit this step. But for paleo, it's perfectly fine. It's refined, sugar-free. Victor, how do you like your spice level? You like spicy?
Oh yeah, spicy the better.
Okay.
Forget about it.
So we're gonna go with our 1/4 teaspoon of cayenne too, because we like it hot over here. Yes, cayenne. No, this is chili powder.
Oh, with the honey extra, you get that nice sweetness and the kick afterwards. Oh, it's awesome.
It's gonna be good.
Can't get no better.
Okay. 1/4 teaspoon. And the pineapple is going to provide sweetness too. All right, guys, turn this down to low. Turn it down to low, and we're going to let it simmer while we do everything else. So, just to sum up, and I'm reading from over here, we got a shallot, 2 cloves of garlic, 2 cups of pineapple, a can of tomato sauce, 1/4 cup of apple cider vinegar, a tablespoon of Dijon mustard, 2 tablespoons of the Chipotle and adobo, a teaspoon of turmeric, teaspoon of cumin, teaspoon of chili powder, tablespoon of smoked paprika, 2 tablespoons honey, and optional cayenne. So I've turned this down to low.
A lot of good flavors over there.
Yeah, it's gonna be good.
Oh, yeah.
We're doing it with ribs tonight. I've got a Whole30 potato salad already made in the fridge. It's got some dill pickles in it, some hard-boiled eggs, some red onion, fresh dill, celery. It's gonna be good. We're gonna do bacon fat green beans with it too, because I always save my bacon fat when I cook bacon.
That's gonna put people to bed.
Woo, yeah, it's gonna be good. We're having ourselves a little pre-fiesta here. You're also gonna want a little bit of salt and pepper. Season it lightly to start, because your tomato sauce has some salt in it. And then at the end, we'll taste. You always want to start small with the salt, because you can add more, but you can't take it away. We don't want to over salt. So keep this simmering over a nice low simmer. All right. Just making sure we don't have any questions. Okay. So our sauce is simmering. How's everybody doing? Is anybody behind a step if you're cooking along with me? Do you have questions if you're not cooking along with me for what you should do when you do this yourself this weekend? Let me know now. Then I'm gonna want to, I'm just rinsing out, guys, my measuring cup, because I'm gonna strain my simple syrup into it, because I want to get it out of that hot pan. So I've just got a measuring cup. You could strain it into a bowl, whatever. But we want to strain those seeds out. And then those seeds, if you let them cool on a piece of parchment paper or a plate, they're going to be like candied jalapenos, which is going to be a delicious garnish for our drink. So I'm going to strain out these seeds here. I spilled. Chuck's not here to hear it. So strain that out.
I'll text him and tell him, let him know.
And give the jalapenos a little push just to get the extra liquid out of them. They're gonna be so good. You can smell the sweetness and the spiciness of this. And the lime juice that's in here is gonna provide like our lime in our margarita, like the margarita mix factor. Okay. So we've got this out of the hot pan. Now it can cool even a little more. And then we want to rinse that sieve or that strainer that we used so that we can strain the jalapeno through it. Or I'm sorry, the pineapple through it. If we have a little bit of that jalapeno flavor on there, on the strainer, it's okay because we're going to be mixing all the flavors together anyway. So continuously stir your sauce, and then we're going to strain that jalapeno as well. I want to get the pineapple as well. I want to get every little bit of that pineapple out of this blender. So I'm going to even scrape the sides down. So I'll show you what it looks like when I'm done, but I'm going to rinse out that strainer and strain my pineapple juice into a bowl. So everybody go get after that. If you are not cooking and you're watching me, you're just going to get to watch this stuff simmer real quick while I rinse. The peppers will definitely make you cough. Okay, let me get this out of the way here. For the pineapple juice, so like I said, I want every little bit of that to go through here because we're gonna press it down and make sure we get all the juice separated from the pulp. And I'll tell you guys my pulp trick. If you watched my stories this week, you probably saw that I made a pineapple, cucumber, and mint juice as well, that I froze the pulp and froze half of the juice to have ice cubes for a cocktail. And then I've got the pineapple, cucumber, mint juice in my fridge that I'm gonna make some margaritas with too this weekend at the pool. So we're gonna have some pineapple jalapeno margaritas tonight. We'll have some watermelon, mint, and cucumber margaritas this weekend. And it's all made with fresh fruits, fresh vegetables. It's gonna be so delicious. The flavor really is a game changer, guys, when you're making your own syrups and when you're using fresh fruits and vegetables to make your own flavorings for drinks. It's just such a game changer. Last summer, I got kind of famous by my pool here in my apartment complex for my strawberry basil margaritas. I do strawberry basil and I do strawberry mint. I like to kind of mix and match those herbs a little bit, but my strawberry basil margaritas, I had people like requesting them. Those are one of my favorites as well. Just muddle some strawberries, break up some basil, and shake it in a cocktail shaker with some tequila and lime juice. Woo! So good. All right, so I'm just...
You were cool even before that.
I was pretty cool before that, Victor says. Thanks,
Super.
Victor. That's why we keep you around.
Oh, thank you. Appreciate it. Much obliged.
All right. I need a bigger counter here, guys. So, the juice is going to naturally want to strain so slow. So you're going to use your little spoon or your spatula to just kind of work it through this strainer so that you get the juice flowing a little more. So just kind of moving around in a circular motion, go back and forth, just help the process out a little bit because that pineapple pulp is thick. Now with this pulp, if you don't want to use it in your margarita, I probably will, just to get more out of this pineapple juice, because it's still going to add the same flavor and it's silky smooth. But if you don't want to use it in your margarita tonight, freeze it in ice cube trays. And then you can either use it as an ice cube in a pineapple margarita, so that as the ice cubes melt, you have more pineapple flavor instead of the ice watering down your drink. Or you can use it to make frozen pineapple margaritas. So if you freeze the pineapple pulp, then put it in the blender with some tequila and lime juice and you'll have a beautiful frozen pineapple margarita. Or you can make a sorbet, you can make a mocktail with no tequila. You're in charge, Marge, but freezing that extra pulp or freezing any leftover juice that you have is a great way to get the most bang for your buck and utilize the whole fruit. I'm all about no waste over here.
How about like a nice little healthy shake?
Yeah, you can put it in your smoothies. Absolutely. Put it in your smoothies. Throw some strawberries in there, maybe a frozen banana.
Yeah.
Yes, that would be delicious.
Real good. Forget about it. I like it.
So, I'm just kind of working this here. I'm going to take a break for 1 second to stir my sauce. I hope your guys' barbecue sauce is smelling amazing. And you know what? This is such a great way. It's super easy. It makes a nice sized batch. And it's such a great way to get away from those store-bought sauces that are loaded with refined sugars and hydrogenated, super ultra processed, inflammatory oils. They've got like 6 different kinds of sugar in the average store-bought barbecue sauce. Like Sweet Baby Ray's, I know y'all may love it. I know it's popular here in the South. It may be super delicious, but it's horrible for you. And I know it's just one holiday weekend, but if you can help it, and you can make a super simple barbecue sauce by yourself using fresh ingredients and enjoy it even more than you would the store-bought, why not do it? I have a jar actually too of the peach from last weekend in my fridge, so we're gonna have some options here tonight. Okay, so that's still cooking down. I'm gonna continue to push this through. And once I feel like I've got all the juice out of here, then I'll just use this pulp or freeze it. But I'm getting a pretty good amount. I started with a full strainer and now I'm almost to the bottom. So, and if your juice that you're straining through is a little foggy and a little thick and gets a little pulpy, that's okay. It's really gonna be delicious in your drink because it's so smooth that you're not really gonna, anything that gets through a sieve, a thin sieve, is going to be super smooth. You're not really gonna taste the pulp like you do in orange juice, how you can kind of taste the strands of it. It's not gonna happen here if you're straining it through a sieve. So I got almost all of this pushed through. So maybe I didn't even need to push it through. But it'll add a nice creaminess. Okay. And everything we're doing here today, guys, this simple syrup, this pineapple juice, it's gonna make at least 4 margaritas. So the ratios we use will make at least 4, depending on how big you pour them. I'm gonna put this here. Whoop. Spilled some, so I gotta taste it. So I got my pineapple juice here. There's a little bit of pulp in it that went through the strainer, but that means it's super thin if it fit through that strainer, so I'm not mad about it. I'm gonna set this over here with my simple syrup. And if you guys haven't tasted your simple syrup yet, do it. It's delicious. That way you know how much you wanna add to your margarita too. If it's really spicy and you don't like so much spice, then maybe you add a little bit less. Okay, I'm gonna go in and taste my sauce. It's hot, temperature hot, so keep that in mind. And I don't need any extra salt. If you need extra salt, salt it now. But I'm gonna say we're ready to blend. Now, obviously you could let this go for longer and the flavors are gonna develop more. And then if you jar this, make sure anytime you're jarring something to put it in the fridge, or even if you're just storing it to put it in the fridge, that you bring it up to room temperature before you put it in the fridge. You don't wanna go from hot out of the pan to cold in the fridge. One, it's gonna bring the temperature of your refrigerator down, and you could possibly spoil any meats or vegetables that are in there. I know it sounds like, oh, 1 little jar of sauce isn't gonna do that, but it does. It brings the temperature of your refrigerator up, rather, not down, so that it's not as cold. And 2, it's just, tomatoes are PHF, which means potentially hazardous food, so you wanna make sure you're cooling them properly, otherwise they can pass through their danger zone time too quickly, and then they could get contaminated. So always make sure that you're bringing things to room temperature before you're putting them in the refrigerator. But if you're refrigerating this, it's gonna develop even more flavor as the days go on. Okay, so I've got my stick blender. If you need to, you can transfer this right into the blender you just used because it only has pineapple in it, and there's pineapple in our sauce. So less mess, you only have to clean up once. So I'm gonna use my stick blender and just start blending. And it is messy, and I have a white shirt on, of course. So I'm gonna stand back. And as you blend the pineapple, all the juices are gonna release into the sauce. It's gonna thin it out a little bit and sweeten it. That's when you're really gonna get the pineapple flavors, once you get them blended up. And this original barbecue sauce recipe, guys, I actually learned in natural food chef school. And we did it with mango. And I've just made a few tweaks to it to kind of make it more for my flavor profile. And I always swap out the fruit. When we did blueberry a few weeks ago, it was so good. Make sure you're getting all those chunks of pineapple. You want it to be a smooth sauce.
To a specific taste or texture?
Yeah, if you want a chunky sauce, go for it.
Okay.
But if you're gonna be putting it on a meat, I just think smooth is better. It sticks to the product. It's just taking me a little longer to blend because my pan has such a wide bottom and the sauce was really thin on the bottom, so I'm having to tilt it up like this to get it blended. It's almost there. Alright, y'all, I'm gonna call this good. I've got all my chunks out, and you know what? I got some on my shirt. Oh well, should have known that was gonna happen. That's what you get for wearing white, Alicia. Alright. So let me show you my texture. Victor's eating like a king today. For lunch, he got off the airplane and came over, and I made Moroccan chicken with carrots and onions and turnips and raisins and olives, and it's delicious, with a carrot top pesto. Again, I hate waste, so I even use my carrot tops. All right, so.
It was fantastic.
Yeah, he loved it, which I was happy, because not a lot of, some people are kind of weird about Middle Eastern food and whatnot. So, let me see here. Oh, okay, that's an old question. So I've got a pretty smooth, I don't want to drop it because it's going to spill on me, but you guys can see here, my sauce is really nice and smooth. Taste it for seasoning, adjust. Now you can really taste the pineapple in it. Just gonna drop some on my finger there. You can really taste the pineapple in it now. Woo, spicy. It's gonna be so good. All right, so this is ready to go. It's ready for my ribs, which are gonna be done in exactly 11 minutes. I don't think we're gonna get kicked off today, guys, but Instagram, I gotta wipe you off here because there's some barbecue sauce on this phone. Instagram, just remember that at an hour, we're gonna get kicked off. If that happens, I will come right back. Oh, I need to swap these. Okay, let's see. Beautiful. Okay, so if that happens, I'll come right back and we'll finish up, but I think we're gonna be good because we're getting ready to go. So, we've got our cocktail shakers. I'm just gonna start making 2 margaritas here to show you guys. But like I said, it should make at least 4. If you don't have a cocktail shaker, you could absolutely just stir this together with some ice and strain it, or you can just pour it over ice, but the ice is gonna melt faster if you don't shake it. Also, you could also just mix pineapple juice. I wouldn't use all the simple syrup because it's a lot. You can also just mix pineapple juice, some simple syrup, and your tequila in a big pitcher if you wanted to make this as a pitcher, and then pour it over ice as needed. Okay, so with your cocktail shaker, we're gonna be using the 2-ounce side, so the big side. And I'm going to fill both cups with ice to the top. And I'm also, oh, you know what I didn't do, guys? And I'm so mad that I did this. I didn't save a pineapple for a garnish, but you know what? I'm gonna use one of these leaves to garnish it instead, since I didn't save a pineapple for a garnish. So I'm gonna fill this shaker and these 2 cups with ice. And our simple syrup is still warm, so we're gonna make sure we shake it really well. Okay. All right, guys. So again, this is going to be enough for 2. So I just want to taste the simple syrup. And it's not too spicy. It just has that peppery kick. So I'm definitely going to garnish with some jalapenos. I'm going to put a couple of these little candied jalapenos in my glass, and I'll pour the drinks over them. A couple of these bad boys in there. And then, oh my gosh, this bottle of tequila is so giant. 2 parts tequila. It's going to be about 2 shots of tequila, which is going to be 1 shot per glass. If you like them strong, go a little heavy.
Yeah, that's what I like.
That's what Victor likes. So we're going to go a little heavy, guys. No judgment. It's a holiday weekend. There's no refined sugar in these.
Nah.
So we're going to go 3 parts tequila because why not? But 2 parts tequila is a recipe. Oh, it smells so good. I love this tequila so much. And then, let me look at my recipe here. 1 part pineapple juice. I'm going to do a heaping part because I really want that pineapple flavor. I'm just going to let it overflow a little bit. And 1 part of your simple syrup. And as you let this simple syrup sit, it's going to get spicier too. Okay. And then we're going to shake it like it owes us money. Shake it, shake it, shake it, shake it. You want to shake it really well.
Bitch, you've been working out. Look at you, girl.
You're going to shake it really well.
Killing it.
Because you want that simple syrup to get cool and it's warm. All right. This is always my favorite part. Come on.
Hit it like a man.
Well, I did this once and it went flying. There we go. Okay. Oh my gosh. Smell that.
Oh, forget about it.
Oh, it smells so good.
That smells beautiful.
Let me move all of this out of the way because I want you guys to see how beautiful these are. All right. So we're just going to pour this delicious, oh my goodness. I'm salivating, you guys. Look at that.
That's a perfect pour, perfect.
Perfect. You tell I've bartended before?
Can't get
So
any
we've got
better.
these beautiful candied jalapenos in there. Then I'm gonna go with a nice wedge of lime. And for funsies,
That looks fantastic.
a little pineapple garnish.
That's a $15 drink somewhere.
All right, here we go, guys. Oh, I'm sorry on Facebook if y'all couldn't see that. I'm so sorry, but here we have beautiful, spicy pineapple jalapeno margaritas, refined, sugar-free. Got these delicious candied jalapenos in there, fresh pineapple juice. Victor and I are gonna do our first sips on my stories right after this, but also I want to show you, this is one of the barbecue sauces that I've already jarred. Ours is still hot, but when we do our ribs tonight, I'll show you guys what it looks like on our ribs. So if you cooked with me tonight, first, thank you. I love when you guys are cooking with me. If you didn't and you plan on cooking this later this weekend, I hope it turns out great. You can refer to this video. It'll be on my stories and my IGTV. So you guys can come back, and on Facebook, it'll be on Facebook as well, a saved video, so you guys can come back and refer to it. I will get the recipe up, but it might not be till tomorrow morning, just so you know, because I do have some company tonight. So if you made this, take some photos, tag me in it at Foodie Pharmacy, share with your friends, invite people to join next week. As always, tomorrow we'll talk about what we're gonna cook next week and vote on it. But I hope you guys enjoyed your pineapple-themed 4th of July cooking class. I hope you have a wonderful, safe 4th of July weekend. I hope you get outside, get cooking, spend time with some of the people that you love. I know I will be. So give us 1 second, and Victor and I will do our first tastes on stories. Thanks so much for joining, guys. I love you all. Have a great weekend. How do I end here? I don't know how to do anything on the tablet. Here we go.
Good job.